Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Hi guys, it's Yoni and I'm back with another video. So I'm going to be reviewing Insecure Season 4 Episode 5 and I am so excited because I felt like this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for Issa and Molly to just be real with each other. But before we get into today's video, let's get into my sponsorship because I do have to pay my bills, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's sponsorship and I'll be back for the remainder of my commentary. If you're not interested, you can always skip this part. I'm going to be styling and installing this wig from WIGENCOUNTERS. Now this wig did come natural black, but I ended up dyeing it. So I ended up using box color from Dark and Lovely. It is 11 Bright Blonde, and what I was going for was a really subtle brown, natural brown. I wanted to see if I could get like some natural brown type of curls, so that's what I was going for, and I absolutely love how this color turned out. I made sure to wear a black t-shirt so you guys can really see what it looks like against black because it's a natural subtle brown. So the wig came in this box right here. So they gave me some wig caps. This wig is 14 inches, it is 150 density, and the knots did come bleached, which is optional. You can order bleach knots or you can not order bleach knots. Depends on what you're going for. And this is a lace front wig cap construction, which gives you about 4 inches of parting. And then also it is a glueless cap, so they sewed on the tracks, they did not glue them on. So what I'm going to be using, which is new from ORS, and it's the olive oil Fix It Grip Gel Ultra Hold. Everyone keeps talking about this, so I'm finally going to use it because I haven't been wearing lace front wigs, so I'm about to see what this is all about. But it's saying down here at the bottom that it's Ultra Hold Gel for lace front wig and weave application. So I'm excited to see how this works. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm also going to be using my blasting freeze spray from Gots to Be Glue. Let's go ahead and get into installing this unit. I didn't do any cutting on the side at all, so I'm really impressed by how well this wig fits my head. I am so impressed. I didn't even have to cut around my ears or anything. If I do, I will let you guys know, but I don't feel like I will have to cut around my ear either, so that's a good sign. So I decided that I'm going to do some wine curls with this hair. So I'm going to go ahead and style it real quick for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like. I think it looks good natural. I would wear it just like this. But for the sake of this video, let's get into these wine curls. Whose side are you on?
Tell Nathan to talk to Andrew about Vince. I did. Nathan reached out about the block party and I need help.
Are you on Issa's side? Are you on Molly's side? Me personally, I'm not choosing sides because I feel that within their friendship between each other, they are both wrong in some areas. I will say that. However, this is me reviewing episode 5. In episode 5, Molly is dead wrong. Now, why do I feel this way? This is not me joining the hate train that's going around with Molly. I think everyone is just kind of irritated with Molly because at the end of the day, we do see how Issa can do certain things, but instead of her just addressing the issue head on, Molly tends to do like little small petty stuff to get back at Issa instead of just sitting her down and having a conversation. Another thing that I will say before I dive into this review, sometimes when you meet people, you have to leave them where you met them, okay? So with Molly, in my opinion, Issa was always that friend that asked for favors. If Molly no longer wants to be that type of friend to Issa where she does favors after favors after favors, then Molly should leave Issa where she met her, at a point in her life where she was okay with doing favors endlessly with Issa. You can't just switch up on a person, whether that's a man or a woman, and then expect for them to magically change to your new wants and needs. They know you to be a certain type of way, so they're used to that. But you can't just all of a sudden flip the switch and be like, well, I'm not going for that, da da da, when you've always been that person, that friend, that woman to that person. I get comments on my YouTube channel all the time, girls talking about, I have a man, I'm in a relationship with him, it's 50-50. Do you think I can change him or change his mind? The answer is no. If you met him in a point in your life where you were okay with 50-50, he's still in that space with you with being okay with 50-50. So sometimes you have to leave people where you met them and you have to move on. That's part of life. That is part of growth. So let's go ahead and dive into this review. Like I predicted, Nathan did save the day. Nathan is that type of friend to me, and like I said, if you're a woman and you don't have a friend like Nathan, I really do advise that you look for your Nathan, because every everyone needs a Nathan. I have a Nathan, and honestly, he is just there to motivate me, inspire me, and to keep me lifted. Even though I don't like this person like that, I do like our friendship. I think our friendship is important to me personally because he's been like my biggest fan, my #1 supporter when it comes to my YouTube channel, when it comes to anything that I decide to do, any new idea. He's always there just motivating me and just being super optimistic with his words and his encouragement. And it's something that every girl needs, and you don't necessarily always get that from the men that you date on a romantic level. It's nice to have a friend that really encourages you and uplifts you with any type of project that you decide to take on, or a new idea that you decide to take on, or business venture. So I honestly recommend you find your Nathan, okay? Lawrence did not show up at Issa's event, which I understand. I respect it because it's boundaries. There are just certain things that you don't do when it comes to your ex, and showing up at her event, even though I'm sure they talked about it, they dreamed about it together, and I respect the fact that Lawrence didn't show up to her event. I respect the fact that he kept his distance. I felt like those are boundaries that are respectable to me when it comes to exes. I'm going to start with the scene where Molly was in her apartment, Andrew was sitting on her lounging chair, and you could tell Molly was already being super negative about the block party.
You better make a break for it.
You know, I don't think I want to go to this thing. I mean, what do you even wear to a block party in January?
In LA, what you wear any other time, it is 75 degrees.
With a 10% chance of rain, I'm not trying to get sick. And you know, when we won that new cocaine, bitch did not come to my celebration dinner. I pre-ordered a seafood tower for 4. That is a lot of mercury for 3 people.
So you're gonna punish her by leaving her hanging?
Maybe.
Let's not go.
Of course we have to go.
What are we doing?
I love her, but I don't really like her right now.
So before she even got to the block party, before she even knew what was really going on, before she knew anything about anything, she already had a negative mindset going to the block party. So it seemed like Molly wanted the block party to fail. She wanted it to fail because she didn't help Issa. It was weird to me. It's like Molly has control issues. If she's not a part of it, then she wants people to fail. Then when she is a part of it, it has to be done her way. I personally realized that when it came to Molly, she didn't really leave any room for any type of positivity that day for Issa. I mean, she came in super negative. So I thought that was interesting because in all honesty, it just felt like she wasn't really feeling the block party prior to even going. Then also, finally, Condola shows back up out of the blue, and she is there as if she didn't disappear, which I think is so weird. But it was super unprofessional. And my question is this: what did Condola and Lawrence's breakup have to do with Issa? Her disappearing was super unprofessional, and if I was Issa, I would keep my distance moving forward because that was just shady. There's no need for that. If you're going through your personal situation, why are you taking that out on his ex? His ex has nothing to do with it, so why be unprofessional when it came to the block party? I just don't understand that. And she didn't apologize. Did anybody else catch that? She did not apologize, and I'm just like, oh sis, why did you come? Why are you here? You should have just stayed gone. It seems that everything came together very well thanks to Issa and the people that were helping her, but Condola just, to me, that was foul and it was very unprofessional. When you say you're going to do something, you follow through with it. Even if you fall out with a person, whatever the case may be, whenever you say you were going to do something, you keep your word and you keep it moving, because karma, it comes back to bite you. Now I'm really wondering why she got that divorce. Also, Tiffany, she is struggling with postpartum depression, and it's really sad, but honestly, this gives you real insight on postpartum depression. And she made a few slick comments about the baby, like she was saying how the baby wasn't latching when it came to breastfeeding, so she was drinking, and then she made the comment like, oh, it's her loss, she didn't want to latch, and that is definitely a sign of postpartum depression. So she seems to really be struggling with motherhood, which is actually very normal, especially in the beginning. Everything's new and there are just a lot of changes happening to your body all at once, so it's just a lot lot to go through as a woman, and I'm glad that they used this episode or these few episodes to shine light on what postpartum truly looks like. Another scene that I really enjoyed was when Molly and Andrew were just sitting down lounging, and the lounge area was kind of like a couch. It was real cute, and he was kind of taking up for Issa. He kind of had her back in a sense. He was trying to make Molly think on a logical level and not an emotional level, which Molly is not used to that. Molly reacts and she comes from a place of emotion a lot of times because she doesn't deal with her internal issues. So she lashes out. I used to be exactly like that until I went to therapy, and when you start working on your internal issues, you don't lash out as much because you're dealing with those issues internally. So Andrew was trying to get Molly to think on a logic level and not an emotional level, and he was just saying for someone to be able to put on an event like this on this level, it takes a lot of hours. If Issa is not coming around as much, it's because she put all of her focus and energy into making this event what it was, and he was trying to get Molly to think more logically about why Issa hasn't been coming around. And for that, I appreciate when men are able to give us real advice, because sometimes us women, when we have relationships with other women, it can be very complicated because we allow our emotions to take over, and sometimes we don't always think with logic, and we're so emotional, and sometimes it's just best to have a conversation with that friend so you guys can get an understanding, so that you guys are all on the same page. So because us women tend to lead with our emotion and men tend to lead with logic, I feel that that is why Andrew was able to give her that perspective, because he didn't have his emotions involved. He was able to give her a new perspective on why Issa has been distant. Finally, let's get into the grand finale of this episode. And I want to ask you guys, do you feel that Molly overreacted? That is the question that I have for you guys today, because she feels that Issa went behind her back and she felt like that's backstabbing Molly, and I don't really feel that way. And the reason why I say this is because business is business, personal is personal. Business and personal don't go together, period. If it was a business affair between Andrew, Issa, and all the people involved, this didn't have anything to do with anything pertaining to personal issues, scenarios, or situations, right? When I say Molly is dead wrong, she's dead wrong because it's business. If Issa would have went behind Molly's back on some personal stuff with Andrew, I could understand where Molly would be coming from. But because she went through Nathan, who happened to reach out to Issa about the block party, Nathan is her friend, Nathan is Andrew's friend, why are you upset? It just doesn't make any sense. Prior to her even attending the block party, and prior to her even knowing anything about Andrew being involved with the block party, she still had a negative outlook mentality when it came to Issa in the event. To me, that says that she literally wanted this event to fail because she didn't have her hand in the pot. So she felt like, well, I'm just gonna prove to her that she needs me and that her life is the messier life and that I'm better. So if I don't help her, then the block party will be a fail and she will be able to suffer at my leisure because I didn't help her as a friend. That's the vibe that I got from Molly, and it's just unacceptable because at the end of the day, the block party was already in motion. So to throw that on Issa in the middle of her putting the final touches on her block party and to not step in and help, if Molly wanted to set boundaries after the block party, that made total sense. But to put boundaries in place in the middle of an event that was super important to her so-called best friend, it's like after the block party, why not put boundaries in place after the block party? Why do it during? Why do it before when you know how important this event was to her? And like I said before, sometimes you meet people and sometimes you have to leave them where you meet them. So if Molly met Issa in a place where she was always asking for favors, then Molly should have left Issa where she was. Sometimes you can salvage a friendship by having a conversation and setting boundaries, but to me, Molly was being super messy. She didn't do it properly, in my opinion, with setting boundaries. When you set boundaries, you can't just lay it on a person out the blue randomly. You have to literally sit them down and explain to them your reasoning as to why you want to do it. And her reasoning was to take her relationship with Andrew more seriously, which is total BS, because honestly, it was a great business move for Andrew. It helped him. They helped each other. That's what being friends with people who are in the same line of business with you, that's part of the benefit. So I just didn't understand Molly's point or side really at all. I'm not jumping on this hate man train when it comes to Molly. I just felt like she was dead wrong, because it was just like she was trying to punish Issa for her own internal issues that she has with her, because she was being passive aggressive.
So you're gonna punish her by leaving her hanging?
Maybe.
Let's not go.
Of course.
So she felt like she could get back at her passive aggressively and then try to hurt her at the same time, because she felt like her block party would be a fail. Let's just call it what it is. So that's all that I have regarding this video. Like I said, honestly, it just comes down to separating business from personal issues or personal business, and Molly, in my opinion, is dead wrong. Molly made this personal. If her man said that it was a great idea, it was great business between everyone that was involved, I don't get how she was using anyone. I think it was beneficial for all parties involved. That is how business works. So I just don't understand Molly's issue at all, other than the fact that she has a personal issue with Issa, and you just don't mix business and personal. That's all that I have regarding this video. I would love your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you comment them down below. I'm always interested in reading your perspectives and giving me a different insight on topics that I talk about. I really do enjoy it, so make sure you comment down below. If you're interested in this hair, make sure you check out Wig Encounters. All information will be down below in the description box, and I'll see you guys in my next one.